The first production motorcycle with a radiator located under the seat. Two bright yellow fans functioned as a kind of exhaust, directing hot air from the radiator to the tail of the machine. Perhaps this is one of the most interesting production sport motorcycles, and in this video, we will talk about what the struggle for better weight distribution in a sport bike led to. The Benelli company traces its origins back to 1911, when widow and mother of 6 sons, Teresa Benelli, founded a garage in Pesaro. She used the entire family capital to start the business, in order to provide the boys with stable work and a steady income. In the Benelli garage, they repaired cars and motorcycles, but soon began producing spare parts and even their own engines in the 20s. Thus, their first motorcycle appeared, equipped with a Benelli engine with a displacement of 98 cubic centimeters. In 1923, one of Antonio's sons, known as the Fearsome Torino, began his career on the racetrack with their own motorcycles. He was a natural-born racer, and his success proved that Benelli was a company with great potential. In 1927, 1928, and 1930, Antonio became the Italian champion 4 times, but his racing career was cut short when he crashed during a race in 1932. From the 1940s to the 1980s, the company endured World War II bombings, a family business split, its reunification, and the successful production of motorcycles under the Benelli brand in the 1960s. However, the emergence of the Japanese on the global market in the 1970s forced the Italians to halt production. The idea of reviving the brand came from the new owner of Benelli, Andrea Merloni, who also headed the large home appliance company in Desert. Initially, the company produced a series of small displacement scooters in the late 1990s, but the arrival of Riccardo Raso, a former Cagiva engineer, showed that Benelli was ready to create serious sports machines. The interesting design of the new Italian motorcycle was developed by British designer Adrian Morton, who previously worked under the guidance of Massimo Tamburini at the Cagiva Research Center during the development of the Ducati 916. Although the Tornado also attracted a lot of attention, it was not a clone of the 916, even though it was obviously a distant relative. Indeed, the aesthetics of the motorcycle initially draw attention. The remarkable combination of aggressive angles and smooth lines allows the motorcycle to stand out among other class representatives even today. But all of this is secondary. The main wow factor of this machine is the pair of yellow fans under the seat, literally an exhaust system that helps dissipate heat from the radiator, which is also located under the seat. The fact is, the designers tried to maximize handling in their flagship by shifting the engine forward, but as a result, there was simply no room left for the radiator. However, there was space under the seat, and it's likely that the engineers also drew inspiration from the legendary Britain V1000, which proved the effectiveness of this concept back in the 90s. This original engineering solution allowed the Benelli Tornado to achieve truly impressive handling and a predictable trajectory, both when maneuvering at low speeds and when taking sharp turns. Additionally, the frontal projection was reduced, which allowed for better aerodynamics and consequently a higher top speed. Although at first sitting on the T900 it seems that due to its very compact and atypical layout it is difficult to handle, this impression is deceptive. Riding this bike is actually pleasant and comfortable, provided you have experience, of course. After all, a sport bike with nearly 150 horsepower is no joke. The T900 suspension was also excellently crafted by the Italians. The 50mm Marzocchi front fork works just excellently. At the rear, the installed monoshock is an alloy swing arm, which, together with a thoughtfully and well-designed frame, ensures that the Benelli Tornado has truly good road behavior. The brakes deserve special attention. The rear brake traditionally serves as an auxiliary for motorcycles of this class, but the 2 large radius front brake discs, equipped with superb Brembo calipers, stop even the Benelli Tornado flying at high speed very effectively. All the components, traditionally for Italian technology, were the best on the market for that time. This is not surprising, as the Tornado was also developed for participation in superbike. The initial format with an inline 3-cylinder engine was developed to take advantage of the then current world superbike rules, where 900 cubic centimeters triples could compete with 750 cubic centimeters fours and 1000 cubic centimeters twins. Australian rider Pete Goddard, riding a bike with Indesit livery, finished 13th twice in Imola in 2001 and 11th in Assen in 2002. In 2003, 1000 cubic centimeters 4-cylinder engines were allowed, which meant that Benelli was out of regulation. The motorcycle also participated in races on the Isle of Man. Later, there was a more powerful version with 160 horsepower, while the 900 cubic centimeters version produced 140, but it was decided to withdraw from racing. The Tornado sounds fantastic. Triples have a wonderful deep sound, and the RS has the best of them all. And even though the engine refuses to work properly until it warms up, once it does, it sings with an astounding voice. You could spend the whole day riding it through the entire range on a straightaway, just for the auditory pleasure it provides. It's indescribable. Every time it sends shivers down your spine and makes anyone within earshot turn and stare intently. The awkward position caused by the unconventional layout soon starts to feel more natural as the pace of the ride increases, and you have to move your body on the motorcycle. The angular tank transforms from a jagged rock into a perfectly positioned grip point to hook your leg onto when hanging off. Although the Benelli is a bit heavy, the handling is very good, especially on the road. It is very balanced, including the engine, and the brakes still feel very sharp and responsive compared to modern ones. The Italians have always been very good with brakes, and the Benelli is no exception to this rule. The development of the Tornado was a huge financial gamble. Creating such a motorcycle from scratch is incredibly expensive, with costs reaching many millions before a single one rolls off the assembly line. But this gamble paid off. The Tornado is a very good bike, which is on par with other Italian exotics in both appearance and performance. The price tag of £11,500 puts it up against the Ducati 999 and the Aprilia Mil R. And in terms of style, objectively, it has an edge over both. The Aprilia's engine seems stronger, but in the corners, it will be hard to outdo the triple. As a result of all the above, it can be confidently stated that the Benelli Tornado Tre 900 RS is not just a stylish, beautiful sport bike. It is a technically perfect work of art, carefully wrapped in a beautiful package.